It says YouTube is testing our stream. We're live, it says. It says we're live.
Well,
I'm
I'm
not
not.
sure.
Okay, there we go.
And
Now, are we live or live?
I don't know.
Are our voices live?
Well, I think we're live. So, with
So
that
we're
being
live,
said,
live.
I think we're living. We're living people. And
Well, all I see is our start screen.
but what do you hear?
Well, I heard a few voices, but
Yeah, that was us. All right. Well,
because I had it on mute and then I unmuted it, and I was like, well, thanks.
welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our show, The Madhouse, TNT Wrestling, where we have no clue what we're doing. Um, they did updates.
Absolutely.
Absolutely no clue. We They had updates on our software, and so we like to hit live on things, and it tells us if we're live or not. We got to do other stuff, and apparently they cut out the middleman and we're live. So, for those of you that stuck around for that minute, thank you of us saying live, live, live.
Live.
Live. So, we watched a lot of really great wrestling this week.
Are you sure it was
Live or
really
not, we
great
got to do other
wrestling? Because
stuff.
I don't think it was really great wrestling.
Yeah, no, it was wonderful. Um, it was something, man. It was something. I can't really say too many spoilers here, but it was a night to remember, or a week to remember, because this was awful. So
It was, and they were both, they both have uh, pay-per-views coming up.
yeah, yeah, this is a very odd show. Oh, uh, see, where do I start on this at all? Um, so one of the things that we've been looking at in past weeks is kind of what the rumors were at the time, what's been going on with professional wrestling at this time, what the rumors were of the day. And a major source of those rumors came from Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer. And so this is just some tidbits of history of what was going on behind the scenes. Um, During the last WCW paper at World War III, they were hinting that something was going on legally with the WWE. They hinted about um, the steroid scandal has not ended yet. And Dave Meltzer actually got a little bit of information on that. It was something about the secretary of Vince McMahon, who testified during the trial. She apparently, well, allegedly received a payment of $250,000 and $400,000 to say things favorably in the McMahon's side of things. So, yeah, apparently this has been investigated for a while, and it's not going away anytime soon. But I honestly don't remember this ever being a thing, so I think it ends up getting dropped at some point. But
I don't know. I mean, this could be the time that, I don't know the exact dates, but whenever during this time is when, you know, Hulk Hogan went up
yeah,
and testified, and
that was before
the,
Nitro
the
started. Yeah,
that was before Nitro
yeah,
started. Okay, because it was then that uh, Vince was like. I don't know why he lied for me and kind of turned himself into a heel character is what I was always told.
Right. Well, um, so the other kind of interesting tidbit of news is they really weren't sure about the, like, just like you said the other day, uh, they weren't sure about the whole Shawn Michaels collapsing thing. Like, nobody's really at this point. Everyone's kind of like, you know, this is probably a storyline, but we really don't have the information on this. So found that very interesting. See, oh,
I
but
mean, like I said, there was only three people who knew about it
yeah,
from what the article I read said.
right. Well, they did make note that this was probably a ploy to draw ratings away from Nitro, because if you line up the shows, that's actually the same time Shawn Michaels falls is when the start of Hulk Hogan versus Sting over on WCW happens. So they're trying to stop that dream match because that's actually the first time Hogan and Sting have ever fought. So that was going to be a big deal. They knew that was going to be a big ratings draw over there. So I found that interesting. Um, Apparently, Vince McMahon is not happy with the ending at Survivor Series. Something happened, but Vince McMahon was visibly pissed at the time. And
Did you ever watch Survivor Series?
I watched part of it. I couldn't make it through, man. I'm gonna do a watch along
You know, you
series or
couldn't make
something.
it through Survivor Series, but you made it through World War III.
I made it through World War Three. I was admittedly during World War Three. I was watching, or I was working in the man cave, and kind of getting it winterized. I don't know if you've noticed the heater behind me, but it's cold, so I was trying to fix that in here. But the other thing, which this is a little disappointing, Sabu has returned to ECW. So he probably we won't see him probably won't see him on WCW for a while. He I know he does come back. I don't know what kind of contract, and they even list this. They don't know what kind of contract he has with ECW because he actually has some dates with some other organizations that he's going to be working. So he's either going to
Well,
come back or not. So we'll see.
I mean, Sabu really didn't fit WCW anyway, because I mean he's way too hardcore,
Yeah,
and they're PG at best.
yeah, exactly. So I thought that was interesting. Um, so WWE this week started off with the recap of Shawn Michaels collapsing. Uh, you know, Vince McMahon pretty much gave the, this is a dangerous sport. Anything can happen. Injuries is a possibility. And they're really trying to beat this in that Shawn Michaels is injured.
Yeah, but really he's with Sonny,
Yeah,
hanging out by a beach.
having sunny days. All right. So the first match of the night was probably, uh, well, I was going to say the most interesting, but it really wasn't. It was Rat Ratford versus Oddman Johnson. Oh man, Rat Ratford, man. I don't remember him, and I'm seeing why I don't remember him, and it's because he is just terrible. He is a
Yeah,
jobber to jobber extreme.
I
Um,
mean, if they wanted him to be successful, they would pair him up with, oh, who's that guy that's in a big feud right now with Triple H, the pig slot dude?
oh, Henry Godwin.
Yeah, they pair him up with Henry Godwin.
Yeah, definitely. So this match lasted about 2 minutes and 46 seconds. It was
You timed it.
I didn't. I actually there's information on the information superhighway that gave me some of this info, which is awesome. So
Did you really call the internet the information superhighway? It
that's
hasn't
what
been
they
called that in like 30 years.
that's what they call it on WCW. Okay, that's what they call it over there.
And WCW hasn't been around for 20 years.
It is the information superhighway. Yeah. So yeah, 2 minutes 46 seconds is one sided. Uh, Odd Man won pretty impressively, but yeah. Um, Jerry Lawler interviewed him afterwards, and I'm including my review in this part. Jerry Lawler pretty much started picking on Oddman. I mean, he was kind of like right at him at from the get go, and then Dean Douglas came out and they kind of squared off, but nothing really happened of it. So, watching all that, if I just rated the match itself, it would have probably got a 2, but the little bit of afterwards, I'm giving it an extra point, mainly because I think they're trying to push Dean Douglas and Odd Man Johnson into a storyline, so they got to start somewhere. So I gave it a 3.
So you're counting the promo
I counted
afterwards.
you don't have to, but I did. I felt like it was fair.
Um, I mean, yeah, it was. I mean, they did give a good promo, and
Hmm.
um,
I actually understood Odd Man Johnson this time.
yeah, I mean, but I don't know. I'm thinking 2.5.
2.5.
Um, yeah, I granted, it was King who was interviewing. He didn't talk over the promo, even though he was interviewing.
Yeah.
Um, it was pretty interesting, I think, that promo. Um, the power bomb that he delivered as his finisher was amazing. I mean, that to me was the best move of the whole night.
Right.
Um, so yeah, 2.5,
Okay.
2.5.
Well, after this match, we had a interesting uh, start here with what I think is interesting. Okay, WCW and WWE seem to have working relationships with the Japanese wrestling organizations over there, and so we got Asia Kong, which I think is incredible. She's wrestling at this time. She was actually at the All In pay per view just a few weeks ago with AEW, or a few months ago at AEW, and she was awesome then. So I thought that was great. She actually, I think she fought Awesome Kong. It was like Asia Kong, and there was like some other ladies in there, but just seeing them two face off, and then seeing her in this episode, I thought was amazing. And plus, she hasn't hardly changed a lick. Uh,
Except for probably more wrinkles.
yeah. Um, One thing I did note when I was doing a little bit of research on some of the wrestlers was Asia Kong actually has 3 5-star matches from the Wrestling Observer, which is actually a pretty big deal. Kyoto, who was in this match, has 4. Just mentioning, this match was Asia Kong, Tomoko Wantabe versus Alundra Blaze and Kyoto Inov. I think I butchered their names horribly. I tried my hardest. So, um, but
Yeah, you butchered them,
yeah, I
but
did.
I couldn't count them either.
Yeah. The Kyoto girl, she actually has one match of the year for, I think it was in 1995. So that's a pretty big deal for women's wrestling at that time. This match doubled the last one with 4 minutes and 5 seconds. Uh, you know, what do you think about it, Tom?
I mean, this is our first Divas tag team match.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've seen a couple or women's
Yeah.
tag team. They're not divas yet.
Yeah.
Uh,
This is
but
women's wrestling.
we've seen a couple singles women's matches, but
Hmm.
not tag team.
Right.
And you know, if I was to compare the two that we're going to see tonight, this would definitely come in last. But
Right.
I'm gonna give it a 3.
Okay. I enjoyed this. It was fun to watch. I definitely uh I definitely see that what they're trying to do with this. The uh I don't know, it was a little bit slower than I thought it should have been. I thought this would have been a faster moving match. But yeah, I gave it a 3.5 out of 10.
I thought it would be more high flying because
Yeah,
Japanese wrestling is known for high flyers.
right.
They're they're kind of the silly the silly sibling of luchadors,
Mhm.
who's also high flying, and I thought there would be more flyers, but
Right.
they weren't.
So, after this match, we had the return of Brother Love. And
Oh, good
I
lord.
love you. Oh my
This is
god.
one of the worst characters that WWE has ever come up with.
So, I'm going to perform this this section of our podcast as Brother Love. So,
Wait a minute. We forgot to mention
yeah.
that Bob Backlund was in the audience.
Oh yeah, yeah. He was in the audience. I think he was trying to get more votes, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was trying
Yeah.
to. He was
He's running for
trying to get
president.
more votes. Yeah.
So, yeah. So he was out in the audience at this time. So, yeah. So here it is. So, this was great. I'm Brother Love. Your face. Uh, no, man, this was horrible. So Bret Hart had to endure the worst freaking interview ever that just seemed to drag on. It wasn't that long of an interview, really, but
No, it was not that long at all, except for the fact that Brother Love drew everything out.
yeah, and he'd like eat the microphone. So during this whole thing, we had well, towards the end of it, um, the Brother Love was pretty much saying that the Undertaker, is going to come take Bret's title, and then uh, what was it, Bob Bacula or whatever his name is? He come in,
Bob Backlund.
yeah, Backlund. He comes in, gets the chicken
Bob
wing,
Bacula?
whatever. I was thinking Scott Bakula there for a second. Anyways, he hits the ring, gets the chicken wing on Bret Hart, and takes him down. It was ridiculous, and yeah, I I would rather forget it, but I had to watch it. I hope the brother love thing doesn't continue. That's all I gotta say. So,
What are you
anyways,
talking about? I mean,
I
it's
oh, it's
it's your
terrible.
favorite spot.
Yeah. Well, after that, we had a wonderful match compared to that interview: Hunter Hearst Helmsley versus John Crystal. That went. Uh, that became the shortest match of the night. I think 2 minutes 21 seconds. This was. We pretty much knew who was going to win this one. Hunter.
Yeah.
Hunter destroyed him. John is a obvious jobber. I wish they wouldn't use these jobbers like this. I mean, put them in a dark match. Get get somebody
Put him
else.
in a dark match or put him up against a mid card,
Yeah,
not someone that's pushing to be a headliner.
yeah. I mean, granted, at this point, Triple H isn't, he's a mid carder himself, but this guy, I mean, like when you see him, you know he's gonna lose. Even back then, you were like,
Yeah,
ah,
but Triple H is a mid Carter right now, but they're pushing him to be
yeah,
a main event,
yeah. And
which
they
means
know
that
they're
they
gonna
need
build
to
him that
put
way.
him against main event people
Hmm.
or other mid cards.
Yeah, Hunter wins this by pedigree. I went ahead and gave this a 3 out of 10. It was not great.
It was stupid. It was one sided. It was a one and a
Mm,
half.
1.5.
One and a
Well,
half.
there you go. that's that's I can understand it. I was being generous, I think. So
The time for being generous is over.
so after this was probably my favorite promo of the night. It was Jim Cornette and Owen Hart. And Owen Hart was declaring that he is going to be taking on any challengers that would take him. And, but, just beware, he put Shawn Michaels into the hospital. So, you know, who wants to face the guy that put down Shawn Michaels like that? I thought it's great that they're trying to take credit for all this.
Everyone.
I believe that's hilarious to me.
I,
So
I find it funny that Brett was told that he's got a target on his back,
hmm
and Owen's trying to get a target on
yeah,
his
he's
back.
trying to. Yeah, I just think it's funny. They're pretty much putting it out there that they put Sean in the hospital. So you
Oh
know.
yeah, this is they're playing. They're going to play this up over the next few weeks.
Oh yeah.
I mean that's what, and that's the stories that I read. They're going to
hmm
play this up. So
So after this, we had what was supposed to be Kama versus the Undertaker. It ended up being Sir Mo versus the Undertaker, and I didn't understand why. And then the chain thing, I didn't get why he had that big giant chain. I didn't realize what that was until like this match ended. So apparently, Kama has taken the urn and made this big giant chain out of it. Now, I didn't think the urn was that big, and that's a lot of chain. So I don't understand this at all. But they were fighting over the urn, but the urn was the chain. This is something I've missed a
let's.
storyline in here somewhere.
I'm gonna tell you something that a friend of mine told me once, and I need to. I don't know if it's if I should be living by this or not,
Right.
but this is about movies. That what he was. We were talking
Yeah.
movies one day, and he
Yeah.
said, "Just let the movie take you in. Forget about everything else.
Okay.
Forget
Well,
about the fact that the urn was half the size of those chains."
it was not even half, dude. Oh, it was stupid. But anyways, it was very funny to see the Undertaker get all emotional holding the chain, and I imagine him putting it around his neck and looking like you know crazy, I guess, with a chain on. So, but anyways, some of the notes I took on during this, which is the best notes ever, is the Undertaker looks silly in his mask. He got attacked by Kama, which we didn't see coming because he was he had crutches on. So
Yeah, yeah.
so I put Taker fights back, and then wins via choke slam. That's how the match pretty much went. You don't have to watch it. There it is, right there. Uh, Taker got the urn back. I mean chain or whatever that is. Do you think the ashes are inside the chain? That's bothering me.
I don't know. Were there ashes before Paul Bearer
I
died?
don't know. Man, it's so confusing. Anyways, King Mabel came out at this point, and he took the chain and ran off. So he attacked Paul Bear, took the chain, ran off. So that was uh, that was an interesting ending there to Raw. Um, you know, Mabel.
Yeah.
I mean, that pretty much Mabel's a dick. and he stole his urn chain with maybe not ashes in it. So
Hmm.
yeah,
And Raw ended with three very lackluster matches.
yes,
Four.
yeah, the whole show. I mean,
Yeah.
the whole show. I mean, let's get down to it. So
There were
the
four matches, though, weren't there? Yeah, I
yeah
missed one. Yeah, okay.
yeah. So uh, the ratings at this time, Raw actually pulled a 2.3, which was pretty okay for the time. Um, so, anyways, let's let's
So so
what's what?
so so I'm giving this match a
Oh yeah, I did
three and
forget.
a half.
Yeah,
Yeah, you forgot.
yeah.
I'm gonna give this match
I
a
moved
three
right
and
on.
a half because one, we get to see the return
Yeah,
of the Undertaker to Raw. He lost points because of the fact that you know the chain issue being too large for the urn.
I have so many questions.
But like I said, I should let the story take me in.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Um,
We should meditate before we
but
watch these shows.
he also lost points because that mask is hideous.
Yeah, the mask, the mask rivals Hulk Hogan's mask over on Nitro.
I mean, it looks like just a piece of plaster that they put over his face.
Yeah. So I was generous. I gave this a 4 out of 10, mainly because I don't think I've ever seen Sir Mo fight, but he actually did okay. It was it was believable for what it was. Undertaker overcame it, and you know, all silliness aside, I did really think it was hilarious watching Mabel run away from the Undertaker with the chain. He was all happy he had it. He was like waving in the air. That was funny to me. So that got an extra point for that.
Okay.
So let's check in with our good friend Buff Bagwell and see what he's got to say.
I am Buff and I'm the stuff, but everybody needs to listen. I am Buff Bagwell telling you to watch out for TNT, the Monday Night Wars on YouTube. These guys are aces in picking winners of Raw and Nitro each week. So tune in every Monday night at 5 p.m. Trevor, Shelby, Thomas Kennedy, and are my biggest fans, bro. That's huge to me. That means a lot to me, so thank you for that. And I know you're gonna love their show, so check it out. Remember, TNT, Monday Night Wars, YouTube, Buff Daddy out.
Buff Daddy out. That that's the best money I've ever spent. That right there. I if you go to Cameo and you want to get best bang for your buck, you get Buff Bagwell. That man got dressed up and ready. He went outside. He put the hat on. He was good to go, man. That's
Now you
NWO for
pay
life
them,
right there.
you,
NWO
you
for
pay
life.
them like 8 to 20 to $100, and they'll do anything you want, right?
Well, it's not that they do anything you want. The idea, or what at least what I get from Cameo, is what they will do is it's supposed to be like shout outs. Like the you pay you send them the money and they will do like a shout out, be like, hey, whoever, and they'll like roast them or something like that. If you want to do it for a friend for a birthday, or maybe invites for a party. But the what I sent to him was a little paragraph just saying, "Hey, this is the information about our show. We would love it if you did this, and we're huge fans." So And so yeah, he ran with that. That was great. I enjoyed it. I actually got that right before the cruise, and that just made my day when that came in. I was so
You
happy.
still talk about that stupid cruise?
Yeah, man. Wish I was back there. Anyways, but no, I'm
Your
here
little
in the wonderful land
your
of
month and a half
95.
cruise.
Yeah, it wasn't a month and a half. It was, half half a month. So, anyways, over on WCW, we've got Pepe that is got a studded outfit there. It is he's all cowboyed up with the rhinestones and see this week they're coming from Salem, Virginia. The first match of the night is Johnny B. Bad with the Diamond Doll versus DDP. You see, at World War III, the Diamond Doll was put up for grabs when he fought Johnny B. Bad. And yeah, so Johnny won, so the Diamond Doll went with him. And she was quite happy at the time. So thought that was interesting. Um, this match was almost completely focused on the Diamond Doll. Like, this camera shot
Oh,
was
yeah.
her the entire time.
I would do the same. I
Yeah.
mean, she's gorgeous even today.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
but there's a match going on. I mean, come on. But anyways, yeah, but this is the whole storyline. They're all, this is pretty
but
much
who's
focused around
more
her.
important? You know, Diamond Doll or Diamond Dallas Page
Yeah,
or
well, Johnny.
you know,
Well,
Johnny, yeah, or the match. I mean, who cares about the match? I
so
don't.
so DDP came down to the ring with a big dill of flowers, and he hands it to Kimberly. He tells her he's sorry, and she looks a little like taken aback, like, huh, he hasn't ever done that before. And then when she looks in the flowers, there's a chain. She pulls it out, and she doesn't know what to do. She looks confused, right? And eventually, at the end of the match, Diamond Dallas Page signaled for her to pass the chain to him. She passed it, or she threw it, but it was Johnny B. Bad that caught it, and then he used it to win the match. He knocked DDP upside the head.
Right in front of the ref.
Yeah,
You
the
know,
ref acted like he saw nothing.
he was looking right at him. Yeah, I don't.
he he lost his glasses that day. So, anyways, this match ends, and she looks shocked that of what happened, basically. And I don't know, and this is the point of the storyline, I guess, but I don't know if she is just pretending to be with Johnny B. Bad just to like get his title or screw him over somehow, or if she really meant to pass that chain to him, or if that chain might have been meant for Diamond Dallas Page, so he could have done the screw job right there. I'm not sure, but yeah, Johnny won this one. I although the match was hardly seen, we had a good view the entire match, so I gave that a 5 out of 10.
You know, I wouldn't care if there was a match. Um, I gave it a 7.
You gave it a 7. Oh my gosh, that's great. Well, that is really funny. So, I actually have a little addition for this episode, for the Nitro side. I didn't have it for the Raw side, but I actually have Dave Meltzer scores, and he has the score for this match at 3/4 of a star, which, if you look at how I kind of figure out how his star ratings work, It's out of 10. 5 is the top, -5 is the bottom. So he pretty much gave this 5 3/4 points that on our scale basically. So he was right in between us, a little closer to my side, but
He wasn't paying attention.
yeah,
Quite obviously.
yeah, quite obviously,
Um,
yeah, he was a little too
I mean,
critical here. So
yeah. I mean,
so after this, we had a interesting interview with Jimmy Hart and Kevin Sullivan, where they pretty much pointed fingers at each other, and Jimmy Hart said he's got a plan with Sting and um, Lex. So they've talked and they have a plan. So I don't know. Like they're still hinting that Sting might be on the Doom side, Dungeon of Doom side. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm
he does
guessing.
take up for Lex a lot.
Yeah, I'm thinking eventually Sting's gonna make that heel turn, but we'll see. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Hogan, I thought it might have happened at World War III because Hogan did throw Sting out of the ring when they were trying to eliminate the Giant. Hogan eliminated everybody, so I figured Sting might get pissed off for that, but apparently not on this episode. So the next match was probably the match of the week. It was Cutie Suzuki. I'm gonna mess this up, man. Mayum Ozaki versus Bull Makino and Akira Hokuto. I
Wow, you did butcher that.
I'm pretty sure I owe each of them an apology. and I issue one. I'm so
You
sorry.
think?
Yes, I really tried. I didn't want to say the ladies from Japan. So
That would have been better.
anyways, I tried. Next time I'll put their names up on the screen. How about that? Um this was actually a pretty interesting match. We had Bull grabbing the women by the hair and just swinging them around. It was hilarious. Um, I thought this was a lot of fun to watch. This was the appropriate speed. This is what I thought the match on Raw was going to be. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the heck out of this match.
I did
Um,
too. It was great.
yeah. Bobby the Brain Heenan was talking about Bull at one point, and I quoted him as saying, "She's bigger than a Honda." So beautiful commentating there by Bobby the Brain Heenan. And Akira and Bull wins this one. You know, I enjoyed this immensely. This was a a shining light for this week because everything else was not. So I gave this a 7.5 out of 10.
Um, I mean, this match was great. I liked it. It was it had a lot of good double teams. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it definitely started out with really well with all four ladies in the ring.
Right.
And that finisher was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The top rope double single single double, what they call that?
I
A
don't even
single
know.
double drop kick or something
Yeah.
like that? Single leg, I don't know. But, she kicked both of them in the face. I mean, it was
Right.
great.
Yeah.
So,
It was a lot of fun. What did you give this?
what'd you give it?
7.5.
I'll give it a 7.
7? Okay.
7. Yeah.
I like it. So, just to add in there, Dave Meltzer gave this 3.5 stars, which on our scale means that would have been 8.5 points. So very interesting. He was way up there. He gave this a lot more credit than I did.
I don't know.
Yeah,
He of course he was judging them as they were coming, so he doesn't know what's coming up. So,
right. So after this, we had Hugh Morris versus Hulk Hogan.
which I have to say that is one of the best names.
Hugh Morris. It is.
Humorous,
Yeah.
humorous.
You
Come
know,
on.
it's great. Uh, I think I've used that in our telephone conversations before.
I think you have.
And this is where I got it. So, like 100%. Um, this is the actual debut for Hugh Morris. He is a long-standing WCW guy. He will be in this under that name for a while. So, be
And he's a
prepared to see
part
a
of
lot of
it.
him. Yeah, he's part of the Dungeon of Doom. His evil trait is that he laughs. So, yeah, don't trust
Hence,
him.
humorous.
Yeah. So, and that's pretty much his whole gimmick is he looks fine for a second, then he starts giggling, and then he looks fine, he looks giggling, he starts giggling. I don't know. But I guess if I were a pro wrestler, I'd have been Hugh Morris. So, uh, my notes for this match were pretty interesting, I think, because I'm interesting. I put apparently we have to deal with this shit again. Hogan versus Doom. So, um, this is the debut of Hugh. Hogan is back in the red and yellow. Yippee, hooray! And
He burned all of his black.
yeah, he burned all the black. So, um, so at one point, Hogan actually grabbed Hugh Morris by the face and started biting his forehead. And the
Yeah.
commentators didn't once say anything about it. I was like, Hogan is biting a man. They're
And and the ref didn't break it up either.
it was so bizarre. So, yeah, and then I put Hogan hoax up. What a surprise! It's over, and yeah. So based on all that, I gave this a 4.5 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
4.5. Hey man, that's a solid Hogan match right there.
I mean the kick the big boot actually looked fake in this match, and you're giving it a 4.5.
Yeah, 4.5. Where'd you go with it? What's all the outrage? What'd you give it? Negative
A three and
two,
a half.
3.5. Ah, we weren't that far. We're like a point off.
Whatever. I don't need
Okay.
any of your dumbassery right now.
Well,
I'm still recovering from Thanksgiving.
so after this match, we had Macho Man coming out with his championship strapped around his waist. We had um, he gets interviewed by Mean Gene. They're kind of going over what happened the night before. The controversy is that Hogan didn't go over the ropes; he was pulled under the ropes, but he was still the referee didn't see it and eliminated Hogan from the match. So Macho Man ended up winning. Hogan wants a rematch, and yeah, so he wants at least a shot at the title. Hogan comes out, tries to um, tries to pretty much plead his case and show the video footage of what happened, so Macho Man can understand that he was screwed out and he needs his title shot. But right before they show Hogan getting pulled underneath the ropes, the video cuts out, and the next thing you know, the Giant comes out of nowhere and starts just demolishing freaking Macho Man, I think he choke slams him on the concrete, doesn't
He
he?
choke slams him onto the concrete. Yeah.
Yeah, and then gets Hogan down to the ring, and then we have Hogan fight back with a chair, and
Well, Sting came down too.
well, yeah, Sting came down, and yeah, they pretty much knocked the snot out of him with the chair, and yeah, so that was about it. I mean, not a whole lot to that. I think if you counted that as a match, it was probably the second best match of the night.
I told you that.
Yeah, I stole
I
that
said
from
that
you.
at the very beginning of the show.
Yeah, I stole it from you. So yeah, very interesting. So the next match we have is Sting and Lex Luger versus Arn Anderson, and Brian Pillman. So I uh, I was excited for this match. It was oh, this is kind of like a dream match in a way because you've got this incarnation of the Four Horsemen versus the Super Friends of Sting and Lex. So Lex took his time coming out to the ring, which was kind of concerning at first. Things got a little more concerning when he didn't seem to be working with Sting at all during this match. So Lex kept not being at the ropes or being in the corner when he needed to be, or he would cause distractions that would help the Four Horsemen. I didn't know. I For a minute I thought that Lex was making a switch over to the Four Horsemen since he used to be one, but that didn't seem to happen. And
Lex was a horseman?
yeah, about 1990, I think. It
Oh,
was
really?
in his early WCW days, his first run in WCW. They he was there as kind of like a developmental guy, like sticking with some good people to make him better.
Kind of like Brian.
Yeah, yeah, exactly where Brian's at right now. So yeah, so Flair comes down. He puts the boots to Lex. Um, yeah, so Hogan comes out. We've got Flair attacking everybody. Um, see, Hogan came out to save him.
Good
Hogan
Lord.
tried to hit Luger but Sting stopped him. And yeah, Hogan seems to be mad at Sting again. So
Well, maybe this is building to something. I don't know.
yeah, I'm not
But
sure.
maybe it's building to the NWO.
Maybe.
You know?
I don't think so. Not yet. We're about a year or so off of that. Maybe.
Listen,
Okay. Yeah, I'll let you have it. So I won't argue. So yeah, so I don't know where this is going. Sting is still helping Lex, even though Lex doesn't seem to be helping Sting at all. I did enjoy the match though. This was pretty cool match. I had fun with it. I went ahead and gave it a 6 out of 10.
um, I had fun with it. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a. It was actually the second best actual match.
Yeah.
Um, uh, I went ahead and gave it a 6.5.
Oh, okay.
You know?
It's definitely the second best match on either show for the week. It
Yeah,
WCW really kind of, I think they did right in their booking this week. Um,
yeah.
which let's see, Dave Meltzer rated this match. He gave it a 1.5 stars. So he was about exactly where you are, so 6.5. So on our scale. So
Yeah,
so you guys are right on spot on for that one. Um, yeah,
because I
I
told him to put that.
yeah, you told him. Yeah. So no, I like I said, I really think that the booking is working a little better on WCW right now. They're putting the right people in the right matches. They debuted Hugh Morris against Hulk Hogan. We all knew Hugh Morris was going to lose, but I think he's going to be an integral character. Whereas when we had Hunter Hearst Helmsley versus this John Chrysler, he had no storyline. We've never seen the man before. We knew what was going to happen. We've never seen Hugh Morris, but he's a part of the Dungeon of Doom. There's at least something there that we can grab onto.
Yeah, there's something we can grab onto, and um, a lot of the WWF's storylines have ended, so
Mm-hmm.
they're still trying to get new storylines. I mean,
Right.
yeah, there's the Hunter Hearst Helmsley storyline going on right now, and he
You got
Shawn
this thing with
Michaels is
Shawn
out, but
Michaels.
Shawn Michaels is out for a while. He won't return until next year sometime.
Mm-hmm.
But that gets the storyline going for I can't talk.
Owen,
Uh, I I can't talk, and I don't know why I can't talk.
are you talking about for Owen or for?
Yeah, Owen.
Okay.
Um, for getting that storyline to get him beefed up, so he gets all you know gets right in his head, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, to have a great storyline, but that's going to be you know a month or two away before Shawn Michaels actually shows back up.
Right.
So
So
yeah.
and yeah, I don't think that WWE is doing their champion right. So they got Bret Hart getting out there and getting attacked in like the silliest way possible. Here we had Macho Man doing the same thing, getting attacked during an interview, but yet it was by the Giant. I mean, at least that was believable. I mean, he got chokeslammed on the concrete. He was out. That's understandable. So,
And,
and if you look at it
and
that
the
way, these
Chicken
shows
Wing
are.
wasn't he was a champion.
Yeah, I know, but he was a champion, and I guess it wasn't that long ago. He actually beat Bret Hart 93, 94, I think. So,
Uh,
but yeah. Anyways, WCW ratings this week, they scored a 2.5. So they actually beat out WWE again. Um, who they scored a 2.3. I don't know how these ratings are done or were done back then, but I wonder if a lot of the people are switching back and forth from one show to the other, because that's what I did when I was a kid. I switched shows constantly, and then I had a buddy of mine where he would watch Raw and I would watch Nitro, and we would stay on the phone with each other. And if something happened, we could instantly say switch. So, yeah. So yeah, the obsession runs deep.
yeah, your obsessions.
Yes.
Hmm.
So I added nothing to the drinking game for good reason, because it's getting a little long. And um but just as a reminder to everybody, the drinking game goes as such. This is for 1995 only. So when you watch 1995 episodes, if you hear anybody say, "This is where the big boys play," you take a drink. If Jerry Lawler talks all over a promo, which he typically does, you take a drink. If any time a match ends but the winner is attacked immediately after winning, you take a drink. If Vince dances awkwardly to commentary or in commentary to Shawn Michaels music, which has happened twice now, you take a drink. And if Bobby the Brain Heenan makes fun of Steve's dog's Pepe, you take a drink. if in the beginning of Nitro you'd be pretty drunk doing all this. Anytime a match starts during a commercial break, that one I was just mad that week. You take a drink. I think that's only happened once so far.
Well, Bobby hasn't made fun of Pepe in a while.
Yeah, no, it's been weeks, maybe months.
I'm almost to the point where I say that we retire that for now.
Yeah, well, come 1996 episodes, we will be starting a new list, and so a lot of these will get retired. So anytime Disco Inferno comes out to dance but doesn't have a match, you take a drink. That's happened about what 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, well, yeah, quite a few, and that's one of our newest rules.
Yeah, and anytime an ally turns on a friend during a match, that's happened a few times. And
Yep.
anytime there is a biased referee, that's happened once,
I'm
but
gonna now. Um, we assumed this was for guest referees,
right.
you know, whenever I made this rule.
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed like we had a couple of biased referees in these matches, like when Diamond Dallas Page got hit
Yeah.
with a train
Well, that
very
was a
visibly.
blind referee. Okay. Maybe we should think about adding a rule or adjusting this rule to if there's a
We can
biased
adjust it.
referee or a blind referee where he misses something that he obviously seen.
I Let's just amend that one.
Okay, we'll amend that one. So anytime there's a biased or blind referee, blind as in he saw it happen, but he didn't call it. So,
Like when Hulk Hogan bit Hugh Morris.
yeah, yeah. Oh man, this rule could really do some damage. Depending on how literal you take this, you could really, really do some damage. All right. So, here's the current results that we have right now. Every single week, what we do is we look at both Raw and we look at Nitro and we award a winner for the week. So last week, you tied things back up. You've got Raw with 5.5 points, Nitro with 5.5 points, and of course, the dog show on the inaugural show won with a single point. I have Raw with 5 points and Nitro with 7. My bias has been shortened a little. So I I think I made you last week go first. So I will award the first point. And my point is definitely going to Nitro. Um, all bias aside, I actually enjoyed Nitro. It had the better matches. It it was genuinely, I don't know, what more a more well put together show. I think they. I'm getting tired of Raw's squash matches, and yeah. What do you think?
I'm giving it to the dog show.
You can't give it to the dog show. There was no dog show.
There was a dog show somewhere.
No, you can't give it to any
I'm
other.
gonna go with the Nitro.
All right. So Nitro takes the lead with you. So you have Raw with 5.5, Nitro with 6.5, Dog Show with 1. I've got Raw with 5, Nitro with 8. Now, like I said, I do have a bias towards Nitro because it was my favorite show when I was a kid. But we have many weeks to go. many terrible weeks to go. So I do see this flip flopping eventually. So yeah, what do you
There's so many books.
what what are you looking forward to in the coming year? Since we're nearing the end of the year here, 1996 is a big year for wrestling. Is there anything that you're looking forward to?
Two things actually: The Rock and Stone Cold.
Okay, I sounds kind of silly, but I'm kind of eager to start seeing the Hardy Boys. Um,
Are they? Do they debut soon?
they started with they might have already been on Raw before. We just haven't seen them during our show. Um, they I believe debuted in 1994, and so
I didn't realize they'd been around that long. I didn't think they debuted until
yeah.
uh
Now
until like '98 or something like that.
when I was diggling when I was digging through the wrestling archives, I was looking at matches from house shows and everything. I was trying to get Dave Meltzer's scores for Raw this week, and Raw is actually hard to find because it's taped. So I've got to find it on the date that it was actually taped and not the date that it aired. So I was digging through it all, and I found some of the stuff they taped for like Sunday Night Heat, and this week they actually had Jeff Hardy on there. So
Okay.
seeing his name on there, that brought a smile to my face. I'm a big Hardy's fan. I seriously remember them as a kid watching stuff like Saturday morning wrestling and seeing
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy tagging together. This was long before they were the Hardy Boys with a Z. They um, they they were just like, I don't know. They wore single color, like fluorescent color trunks, if I remember right, and they were just real quick young guys that I don't know. I seen them enough on the show that I started liking them, and I
I mean,
did.
I've always been a big fan of the Hardys, but and like I said, I didn't realize that they were that. That means that they are the longest full-time roster people right now. They've been on the roster the longest.
Well, you do have Dr. Isaac Yankem, but he's kind of not so much on
No,
there
he's
anymore.
retired. They retired him.
Yeah, and
They
then
retired. Kane retired to become a mayor.
yeah, and then I'm trying to think if there's anyone else. I mean, you may be right. Um, we did have
Triple H, he wrestles every now and then, but
Triple H,
he
Asia Kong,
he's not. But she's
but
not on WWE's.
right, she's over.
Uh,
She's still wrestling, but she's over with AEW, or well, she was at that pay per view. I don't know if she's actually main roster. If anybody knows, put it in the comments below. Let me know if she's actually. I'm actually interested if she's main roster at AEW or not. As much as I like AEW, I don't get to watch a lot of it, which is sad. Sad for me. So,
well, it's on Friday nights,
uh,
Wednesday nights. I'm
I,
sorry.
yeah, Wednesday nights, I believe. Um, I wish I could watch it more, but man, I already watch a lot of wrestling.
Yes.
um, and just to plug more wrestling, you guys, if you would like to tune in, we are going to be starting a podcast with the NWA, covering their stuff. Well, I am doing. Try to do some watch along stuff. Don't know if I really dig the watch alongs like that, live stuff like that. Might turn it to a podcast. So we'll see. Also, depending on when you check this out, check us out on podcast networks, any of them. We should be there. Look for TNT Wrestling. We've re-entered the podcasting world. Tom told me to get out of it. I said, "Screw you, Tom. I'm
No, no,
getting
no, no,
back
no, no,
into
no,
it."
no, no, no.
And
Don't blame this
don't
on
listen to
me.
him. Hang on.
Every change
I
that we've made is because of him.
all right. I muted Tom. So, so, anyways, yeah, you can't. They can't hear you, buddy. So, anyways, I put your audio back. Anyways, so yeah, no, but we've a lot of our old episodes are going up there on our new channel. Just look for TNT Wrestling. Subscribe to us for one. For one, do that. Rate us 5 stars. If you'd like to rate us lower, don't, and just give us 5 stars. 5 stars. Think of like, Eddie Guerrero, 5-star frog splash. So, other than that, you got anything you want to add, Mr. Kennedy? Kennedy?
Um, no, I just hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. And have a great week.
All right. Well, with that, I hope you guys tune in next week. If you guys want to, watch along with us, we just did the November 27th edition of Raw and Nitro. This week this next week we'll be covering the December 4th edition of both Raw and Nitro. So, of 1995. So, if you want to go onto the WWE Network, watch it, and then if you watch this episode or this next episode, you'll be kind of synced in with us. You'll know what's going on. So, anyways, I hope to see you guys next week. Thank you, whoever you are, our viewer. And we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
Peace.